Welcome, football fans. It's time for the NFL week number 14 picks and predictions for 2023-2024 season. Let's just get right underway with how was our results for week 13. Well, actually, they weren't that bad. The points aside, because we only got 9 wins. We got 9 points last week. However, there were only 13 games, meaning we only got 4 wrong. So realistically, not so bad, but once again, you still always want to try to hit the double digits, because you're trying to make up for past blunders, past weeks, etc. So, unfortunately, this week was sort of meh for us, but either way, we jump off with the Thursday night game, Dallas at home, beating up on Seattle. It was a great football game. Can we just say that? It was a great football game. Dallas was not doing what they should have done for a lot of it, but they came back with a lot of fire and stuff like that, and it didn't really come down to the wire, which is nice as a Dallas fan, right? So either way, Dallas does win. We picked Dallas. It's all good. We put 41 points on the board. Then we go into Tennessee, where I went with Tennessee. That came down to an overtime. And this might have changed everything. This game was the game that might have made me win a second week this year. But unfortunately, Indianapolis managed, or Tennessee sort of dropped the ball. They couldn't punch it in. I was watching that game and stuff, and then the overtime, and the fact that they settled for 3, and then all they needed to do was hold them for one goddamn drive, and they couldn't hold the Colts back, and it just... it is what it is, but unfortunately, 31-28 in overtime for Indianapolis. They won. Now, running through the winners, we have Chargers over New England, though that game was terrible, 6-0. I didn't watch the game, but goddamn, 6-0. What the hell type of game was that? Then Detroit over New Orleans, but a very close game. Very strange that. Very close. Detroit is supposed to be right up there. Eagles, 49ers in the NFC, but right chomping at the bit, Cowboys, Lions, right? So I don't know what's going on with Detroit. That New Orleans doing that well against you. What are you smoking? You're smoking something bad. So either way, we do pick the winner team, but 28 points for New Orleans, odd. And then we jump into New York, where Atlanta manages to squeak out a 1-possession win over the Jets, and then Pittsburgh losing to Arizona, and not just losing, being decimated, being destroyed, 24-10. I mean, once again, Arizona is probably the worst team in the league, but still, Pittsburgh is definitely no winner, but you should have had a better showing than that, Pittsburgh. I didn't see the game. I don't know what happened, but 24-10, my God. Then we go back onto our winning streak. Miami over Washington was fairly obvious, and it was 45-15 at 30-point differential. Then Houston manages a 1-possession win over Denver. Tampa Bay winning over Carolina, though not so cleanly. It was a pretty close matchup, even for the Panthers. And then the Rams beating up on Cleveland was pretty much in the cards. A lot of people picking Philadelphia, but I told you guys last week, 49ers got this. The Eagles are just lucky. They should be, right now, what are they right now? 10-2? They should be, in all honesty, probably about a 9-3, 8-14. Realistically. Their luck is just insane. The luck that they get away with is crazy. If you actually watch the Eagles games, they get a lot of, and not just refereeing and stuff like that, but just lucky bounces, lucky happenstance, lucky plays. There's a lot. There is skill on the team. Nobody can deny it, but their record does not show how good they are, and 49ers exposed that. They showed that Eagles might have a great record, but they're winning by the skin of their teeth against Washington, against the Cowboys, against, a lot of teams. And then all of a sudden, the 49ers show up, let's go, and they destroyed them. They beat their ass, and it shows. The Eagles are not in that realm. They're just not in that class. So I think finally the Eagles' luck has run out, which is good for me because they're in my division. And then we take 2 losses at the end of the day. The Sunday night game and the Monday night game. We pick Kansas City over Green Bay. Kansas City lost to Green Bay handily. And then Cincinnati managed to beat Jacksonville, even without Burrow. And I just was like, okay. Like, I mean, I'm sort of happy for Cincinnati in that regard because I'm certainly not a Jaguars fan. But I didn't expect that. I really didn't. I thought Jacksonville was far stronger than that, but clearly Cincinnati has picked themselves up and said, just because our quarterback's gone doesn't mean... It reminds me of when Cooper Rush had to pinch hit for Dak Prescott. We still made it. We still had things happening, you know what I mean? So, good on Cincinnati for doing that, you know? Then we jump in, however, to week 14, where the Thursday night game has already come and gone. We did pick Pittsburgh. They lost. That I didn't even bother watching the game. New England versus Pittsburgh. 2 terrible teams right now. I didn't even bother. I was busy with Christmas shit, and I didn't even bother watching the game. What happened? I don't know, but according to everyone, it was appalling to watch. It was just not a good game. So, no matter who, like, you were a fan of or who you picked or what have you, apparently, the Steelers and the Patriots was not a great matchup for Thursday night. Then we jump into Sunday football, where we're picking Tampa Bay over Atlanta. We're picking, once again, that's a 50-50 shot, but I still think that Tampa Bay can win that one. Detroit over Chicago, fairly obvious, though Detroit didn't have a great showing against New Orleans, so I won't be surprised if this is a close game. I still think Detroit will win it. Cincinnati over Indianapolis. I think they're coming high off their win, and I think that, once again, Indy barely, an overtime win against Tennessee. I think Cincinnati's still a stronger team, even without their main quarterback. So I still think that Cincinnati can defeat Indianapolis. So we're going with Cincinnati. Then we go with Cleveland, in Cleveland over Jacksonville. Because once again, if Cincinnati can beat Jacksonville, so can Cleveland. So we're going with the Browns over Jacksonville. Then New Orleans over Carolina for the sole purpose that, once again, New Orleans is still a shit team, but Carolina is worse. We already saw that last matchup. They barely beat them last time, but I think New Orleans has improved and Carolina has not in the weeks in between their matchup earlier on in the year. So that is what it is. I'm definitely taking Houston over the Jets. The Jets suck. There's no real question in my mind. I don't think I would pick the Jets for the rest of the year, in all honesty. Things can change, of course, but we're coming down to the end of the season, so but I'm going with the Texans over the Jets for that game. Then Baltimore over the Rams. Now I still think this is a hard one. I'm just giving Baltimore the 3 points at home. I think the Rams give them a very good game. I think the Rams do a very good job. However, Baltimore has been putting up 30 plus points every game, so unless Rams can match that, which they've been having high 20 games and stuff, but they haven't been able to match that same amount of scoring. I think it's just going to come down to the fact that Baltimore can score 35, 40 points, and the Rams are good for only about 25 to 30. You know what I mean? So, but if the Rams win, I won't be upset. But I am going to go with Baltimore, especially at home. Then we jump into Minnesota over Vegas in Vegas. Kirk Cousins is gone. This is a Cincinnati situation all over again. Still going with the Vikings. Vikings over Vegas. Vegas sucks. I said I never liked the Oakland Raiders. Even though they moved to one of my favorite cities, I still don't like them. So, no, Raiders, nah, not for me. Then in San Francisco, of course, Seattle is a strong team, especially after a loss, as we know by the numbers. But it's San Francisco. They're the strongest team in the league right now, and they're not gonna lose. I really don't see them losing against Seattle. Will Seattle put up a very tough game? Sure, they put up a tough game against the Cowboys last week, but they will run out of steam. And I'm going to predict by the fourth quarter, San Francisco is going to be winning, and they're not going to let go of that win. So that's my prediction for that one. Then in Kansas City over Buffalo, KC has been falling, but so has Buffalo, so it's a very hard pick, but I'm just going to give it to the home team and give it to Kansas City. That's literally my only reason. That game is a 50-50 shot either way. That is a coin flip of a game. It's supposed to be two of the strongest teams, but right now they have been on the slope downwards currently, so no idea what's going to happen there. Then Chargers over Denver. Another one where I just picked the home team. In all honesty, I could not make up my mind. I couldn't decide on, do I really think that Denver's got it to beat the Chargers? I mean, yeah, but do the Chargers have the means to beat Denver? Of course. So, yeah, it was a coin flip, and then it went to the home team. So, is what it is. Now, Dallas over Philadelphia. We nearly beat them last time. We had them. A couple of lucky fumbles on Philadelphia. A couple of lucky bounces for Philadelphia. And a little bit of bad refereeing by the officials was the only thing stopping us from winning that game. So there's no reason while in Arlington we cannot beat the Eagles. I think we beat the Eagles this time. It's our rematch game. It's the first time Dak actually ever lost to the Eagles, I believe. We've always beaten the Eagles. So, yeah. It's time for Dak to prove, like, okay, that was a fluke. Let's go. So, I have Dallas. I still have Dallas. Not just because they're my team, but because they're hungry to prove. They've lost to the two best teams. They've lost to San Francisco, and they lost to the Eagles. Now they got to step up here at the later half of the season and prove we're still here. We're still a contender in the playoffs. This is we're doing playoff talk already. So, it's time for Dallas to shine. It's time for them to beat one of the number one teams in the league and prove that they are still, how about them Cowboys? So I got the Cowboys over that. It's going to be a very tough game. It will come down to the wire, 100%. But because the Eagles are a great team, you know, even with their luck has won them quite a few games. But it doesn't mean that they're not a good team. They are a very good team. So it's gonna be an exciting matchup, 100%. Then in Miami, we got the Dolphins over Tennessee. That is so obvious. A double Monday night hitter. I don't know why they're doing this double up Monday stuff. Sort of screws me up. It's weird, but either way. And then I'm gonna pick the Packers over the Giants. If the Packers could defeat Kansas City, I don't see a reason why they can't defeat the Giants. So we're going with Green Bay Packers over the New York Giants. And those are the picks and predictions for week number 14 of the NFL. It used to be only 17 weeks, but now we have an 18th week to talk about and such. And of course, I'll always be doing the playoff picks and stuff. Though I don't enter the pool, that's a separate pot of money. I don't enter the pool when it comes to playoffs. Playoffs. I don't do that, but I'll still be making videos, of course, about the playoffs and stuff. And a really apology for this video being so late. This video probably won't come out until mid-Sunday afternoon. So yeah, because I've been very, very busy, and there's just been a lot going on. So is what it is. But apologies this video is so late. Usually I try to get these things out Thursday, Wednesday, and it might. Half of the games will probably be over by the time this thing comes out, but it is what it is. Thanks, guys, so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And how about them Cowboys? Hope you guys enjoyed. Don't forget to watch some great football. And see you guys back here next time. Have a good one. Bye-bye.